How's it going, guys? I got some good news. I've signed up with Bybit, and I will open free entries for the premium Discord group where I share basically daily updates, trade signals, and whatnot, right? And to enter the group, you just have to sign up with the link and deposit minimum $100, right? So basically, as long as you're trading on Bybit, you will have free pass to the group. Okay, so that's pretty cool in my opinion. So let's start off with some stuff with the chart and see. Just quick look at the market. So instead of just mentioning a few levels, I want to sort of explain some things here as we're having FOMC. So FOMC now, right? So we're having inflation. Inflation has already peaked, right? So inflation, just let's mention this, right? So inflation is on its way down. What happens is that as inflation has been coming down, means that the rates has been high. Okay, so rates has been high, inflation is coming down, and as now that the rates has been high, it's been difficult for companies to grow, right? So there has been an issue with growth. So we are now discussing possibilities of a potential mild recession in the future year or half year or whatever. And it doesn't really mean that anything doom or whatever, things will completely die and everybody will go bankrupt, but it will be sort of a liquidity issues with those who have ultimate or too much debt laying around, right? So that we never know really what everybody's hiding, right? So companies are always trying to hide their issues, so we don't know what might happen. But what we know is that companies might have some growth issues, right? And then growth is going down, stock prices usually follows, right? And then you will have a few outliers that will be performing fairly well, such as Apple or whatever. Okay, so if you take a quick look at, give me a second there, so a quick look at S&P 500. So since inflation numbers were actually better than expected for the market, I just want to mention here, so what we're seeing is price is taking a run towards this previous high. Okay, so we're having a bullish price action into FOMC, right? And meaning that we're going to have some rate hikes. So the market is sort of expecting a potential pause in the rates, but doesn't really matter. Even if you got a 25% base jump, is not that much, and people expecting that we might just have 0.25% for a maybe 2 times more in the worst case scenario, or we're just going to pause from here and sort of take it slow. And and the thing is that, okay, so if this is bullish, all right, so let's assume, right, this is bullish news. What has happened with price the past half year? We've basically been pricing this in, and can you see this expansion that we had? This, right? So this expansion, especially the last expansion, this is the market actually pricing in the good news. Okay, meaning that people expect it, so they're bidding it. And usually what happens, in my opinion, from this is that you might get one last spike, but that is when the market is starting to hedge, right? Because it's already priced in. Okay, at least short term for a reaction. That's how I view it. So I don't want to say anything certain here, but we're having an option here that the area of 70 and 80% of these highs might at least be a reaction point, right? So then we will see, what kind of news we will get, because we will also have the press conference when the Federal Reserves need to speak on how they believe, everything is going. But remember that the Federal Reserve is also on USA side, right? So they want to hype that the economy is doing well, right? They're working for their own country. They don't want the country to be in a bad shape. Let's not forget. So you also have this opposite, right? So you might just have a tight reaction, sideways accumulation, and then expansion to continue. But both of these outcomes, in my opinion, should be a reaction point where you're seeing a sell-off, right? So you can either have a very short-lived sell-off with sideways price action and then continue to new highs, or else you have a smaller distribution there and price at least coming back down to some of these levels. Okay, and this is sort of the outlook of the overall equities, right? In generally speaking. All right, so let's go and take a quick look. This is S&P. Let's just view Nasdaq and give me a second. I just very quickly just view Nasdaq. You're seeing the same here. We're going into the same levels. Let's check if this is correct. Yeah, so we're moving into the sort of the same levels. Nasdaq is a bit ahead of it. Okay, we're probably gonna react to some of these levels, in my opinion. We're having these highs and then this void with the accumulation there. So I think that's probably gonna be a potential good sell. Let's check DJI. Should be a bit more bearish due to the bank issues. All right, so we're just hovering at these levels, right? So there's nothing too bearish going on, because remember that equities, they grind up until they're having a swift sell-off, okay? And then whenever price sells off in equities, you want to be a buyer in general. Let's just make that clear. So in generally speaking, equities tend to move upwards, right? And then you're having, so they tend to move upwards until liquidity is completely compressed. You get a large sell-off that takes out all liquidity, and then price just grinds up, okay? And that is sort of the nature of equities. And you know, if you go back, no matter, this is 2011, and you can see that, right? You're having swift sell-off, okay, and then price continue to grind up. So no point being a major bear, just understanding sort of the macro environment that we are in. So let's go to Bitcoin. Let's hide these ones. Let's go to the weekly. And by actually a lot of these equities, so as Nasdaq, basically even DJI has been fairly bullish, and you can see here that Bitcoin not that good, right? So in my opinion, this is a red flag. Could be just the Binance data that has been sort of pushing price lower, but doesn't really matter. In my opinion, it's a bearish correlation, meaning that it's a high chance of seeing lower prices. Okay, so mention this to the group. Only a chance, in my opinion, that we're gonna have a bullish outcome is if that we break 28 or reclaim 28, 29K and start trading above this level. Okay, reclaiming like this and then push up. That's the only chance. Until we show that bullish price action, I'm looking for lower prices, at least closing in some of the void of that last candle, potentially even lower. Okay, that's very quickly said about Bitcoin. Let's take a look at some of these ones, right? So if you quickly take a look at some of these, give me a second there, altcoins, you can see that if you take on the weekly basis, just quick look here how they are shaping up. So you can see here on a weekly basis, we're just going to check the weekly chart, that a lot of this, right, you can see sold off into SR, okay, and you will see that on most of this. AVAX, Axie, they are looking more or less the same, except Binance and Matic and Bitcoin, okay, and Ethereum. But you see DOT as well. Everything is just grinding into the support. So I'm not gonna go over all of these charts. Later, guys, if you join the premium group, you know, we go through this more or less every week and every day and looking for decent levels to engage with. But yeah, we're just grinding into some of these high time frame SR. So I just want to use this near chart just to show a few examples of what I mean. So if this is the SR point, okay, and you can see that near more or less sold into that level, we reclaimed some of the price action. We were trading above it, okay, but now we broke below and we went for a lower low. So what price is doing is that we're having this SR point, okay, expansion away, far away, whatever, and we're coming back to it. Price is just grinding at that level, okay. That is where we are most of the chart. What we can see that is possible during circumstance like this is that you're seeing a price action similar to this, okay. So price is just sort of grinding lower, okay, just back up, retest, sell off, okay, just a grind. The large sell off is over with, right? We over with the big nuke, right? It's already happened. This is the one, right? The liquidity is compressed now, so the movements now will be similar to this, okay. It will just be price coming, Give me a second. There's a price coming up, back down, retest, lower lows, grind, back up, retest, lower lows in different ways, okay, until at some point liquidity will be so compressed that we will start to reclaim some of these levels, okay, and that will sort of be the start sort of the next bull run. But you know, the timing is difficult, so you just have to sort of watch. And most chart, they look very similar, something like this, rose as well, okay. You will see just grind sideways lower, sand the same, just grind slowly sideways until we get the reversal. Same for Solana, it will just grind slowly downwards until we get a reversal, okay. Same here for Theta coin, grind sideways until you will get a reversal, and then we will see sort of where the market are. So the few outliers, Indian coin, I think if price coming back down between 2 and 4, gonna be a decent level. Fed as well, if it comes back towards this clean SR, even if it goes for a lower low, right there will be a decent level to look for a bounce. BNB at support, let's see if it breaks, depends on the FUD and whatnot will happen. And we also have Matic right there. Okay, and Matic also sitting at this clean SR, but they do have this void below, right? So if you're going to a log scale, you will see that it's a large void below that can get tapped into, right? So if you're having this as a redistribution and then you're having sort of a sell-off lower, and then sort of you get that larger price run back up. But it really depends on the overall market conditions, all right? So we'll just have to take it slowly and see sort of how things are lining up. But that's an overview of the market. You're having the dollar chart as well, slowly breaking lower. As if you're going to the weekly chart, you can see that we just compressed here, and you will see price will most likely make up its mind today and sort of the next direction depending on the outcome of this meeting, and especially after summer in towards the last quarter. If we are going, you know, to follow suit of lower prices, then we're looking at closing in the gap all the way there, right? If not, price will, whatever it does, start to come back, right, and then go for a new retest of the highs, either if you're going to take a new high or just run into the previous area of liquidity, okay. So that is sort of the overall market conditions. Not the best to trade. We also have summer around the corner, but there are always some trades to take. Okay guys, talk later, peace out.